So we're here with Carl Froch at Wembley Arena for Return of the Saint. This arena must have some good memories for yourself, that weigh-in just before your fight against George Groves at Wembley.
Yeah, it was good. It was a great weigh-in. Plenty had turned up. I think there was 5,000 or 6,000 here. So yeah, nice memories.
And what were your memories of that night? What a punch to end it. I mean, what do you look back at that fight? Have you watched it a few times in front of that 80,000 people?
Yeah, of course I've watched it back. Of course I've seen it, and it brings back fantastic memories. And not only was it a perfectly executed punch, right hand straight on the chin of my opponent, which rendered him unconscious and caused a knockout victory, it was also very, very satisfying because obviously the animosity, the needle and the build-up in the rematch after what happened in the first fight, you know, I won fair and square, but it was controversial. So for me to land that devastating punch on such a big platform, for me, you know, it's the most satisfying punch in my career, which I've said before and I'll say again.
And I mean, since that fight, you've been on a show on the BBC, Tumble. What was that experience like? That
was really good. I mean, it was a new discipline, gymnastics, and for me to put my body through something totally new was, you know, it was interesting because there's a lot of things I couldn't do because physically my flexibility and static strength, different to sort of being mobile with your strength, presented so many different challenges for me, but that's why I did it and embraced it, and I enjoyed it, and I did well. I got to the final. I think I did myself well and did myself proud, and I've learned a few party tricks now, let me tell you, back somersaults and front somersaults and round off back tucks. I can do quite a few things, but I'm having to keep up with it and maintain it to keep that ability in me. I mean, the flexibility and the strength is very, very beneficial for boxing, and the core strength that you need to be a gymnast is helpful for boxing. So I'm looking forward to getting back in the ring and sparring just to see how I feel when I get in close with my opponent and start holding them and pushing them around and punching them around the body to see if the extra strength I've developed in the gymnastics is going to be a benefit to me, which I'm sure it will be.
We see quite a few of these sports stars on reality shows, and there must have been a lot of you that wanted to actually go and win that show. Were you a bit disappointed that you were runner-up?
No, not at all. It's Saturday night TV and it's a bit of fun. And the audience that watch that, they're not my audience, they're housewives. They're, you know, they're sitting in either with the kids or sitting in on their own, watching the TV for a bit of Saturday night entertainment, and that's what it was. I had no ambitions of winning it. I just wanted to get to the final, which I did do, and I wanted to do myself proud, which I did do, because I was able to perform everything that was asked of me. So, no, I came out of that show. I went into that show with limited expectations. I didn't think I'd get to the final. I got to the final. I was in all 5 or 6 shows, whatever it was, and I enjoyed them all. I played my part, and I come away from it with a new skill and a few party tricks, so I'm happy with that.
And you mentioned you can't wait to get back in the ring. When can we likely see your next bout? Is it going to be James DeGale? Is it going to be over in Vegas? What's next for Carl Froch?
I genuinely don't know. There's so many options. There's 3 or 4 people that I could fight now. I'm just waiting for Eddie Hearn to come back to me and say, this one is looking the most lucrative, this is the most realistic, and I'll take it from there. You know me, I'll fight anybody. James DeGale, Mikel Kessler in the 3rd fight, the decider. Andre Ward, the only man to who beat me on my record. I've not avenged that loss like I've avenged the Kessler defeat. So, you know, and Chavez Jr. is a fight that's going to be massive in America as well. So there's a couple of options, and like I said, you know me, I'll fight anybody. I'm just waiting to see which one's going to make most sense, not just for me but for my team.
I'm sure there's a few things you want to tick off your bucket list. Of course, 80,000 people at Wembley, it's going to be hard to beat that, but you of course want to fight in Vegas. I'm sure you want to have a world title fight at the City Ground as well.
All my heroes before me have boxed in Las Vegas, the fight capital of the world, so for me to fight in Las Vegas would be a massive tick in a box for me in my career. If I retired on the back of the Wembley Stadium win and that right hand that landed on Groves' chin was the last right hand I ever throw, then I'll retire very, very happy and very satisfied man. I really will. So I'm not in any rush to make any decisions, or I'm not going to get my hand forced by anybody. I'm going to speak to my coach, Rob McCracken, speak to my promoter, Eddie Hearn, and his dad, Barry Hearn, and between us we'll come to a decision on what the next move of my career is.
And when do you think we can have that announcement? Do you think that could be in the next couple of weeks, months?
I think it needs to be in the next couple of weeks, really, but I certainly won't be fighting this year, but I'll be fighting early part of next year. But we need to sort of make an announcement and decide exactly what we are doing over the next couple of weeks, ideally. But if that can't happen, it can't happen. But you know me, I'm happy to fight anybody. and whoever I do end up fighting, you know it's going to be big.
And in terms of George Groves, let's just mention him quickly, return of the Saint tonight. What have you made of his return, and how do you think he'll cope tonight?
Well, I've not made anything as return because I've not seen him fight yet. I think he'll cope okay with an opponent that's... Oh, good shot. Oh. Khalid, you're fired there, knocking somebody over with a sweet left hook, and you're interrupting it for me. I expect him to win tonight because George Groves is a good fighter, and I think rub race is very limited, so I expect him to win the fight and do well.
Oh, thank you very much, Carl, and best of luck, and hopefully we see you in the ring soon.
Pleasure.